What's up guys, Alvaro here. Welcome to the Bilingual Stock Market channel again. On this channel we talk about the markets and we do it in English and Spanish as well, so you can pick your preferred language. And in this video, and as I do it Mondays through Thursdays, I want to make a quick stock market update, so I want to break down some technicals, going over the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100, which are the most important indices of the United States stock market. And at the end of the video, I am going to break down from a technical standpoint 3 stocks that tomorrow are going to be on the very top of my personal watch list. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. And today we had a red day all across the board. It was needed, guys. I said in yesterday's video that both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 were getting a bit overheated. So today we had some sort of nice and necessary pullback, and the S&P 500 went down 0.47%, and Nasdaq 100 down 1.12%, Russell 2000, which didn't need to pull back arguably, but it went down regardless. So the Russell went down 1.13%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average went down 0.24%. A soft and necessary pullback, no doubt about it, except for the Russell 2000. Keep in mind, guys, that tomorrow is going to be a very important day for the markets, because at 2 p.m. we are going to have the interest rate decision of the Federal Reserve, because tomorrow we are going to have the Federal Open Market Committee. And right after the decision comes out, we will have Mr. Jerome Powell talking about the economy, so we can expect some sort of volatility into the closing bell in tomorrow's trading session. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500, guys. I am going to go over the S&P and the Nasdaq 100 before checking on the earnings reports of big tech, because as of now, we should have Apple, Microsoft, and Google reporting earnings, and depending on what those companies report, we could either have a red or a green day tomorrow, because we are talking about companies that have a huge weight in both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. So let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500, which went down today 0.47%, and it closed today's trading session at 4,401 points. So let me pull up here the 1 day, 1 minute, and we saw a big drop today, guys. So the S&P opened today's trading session at 4,416 points, 44.16, and we saw a massive drop, and the bulls managed to find support at 43.72, and then we saw some sort of relief rally into the closing bell. So this is very healthy, guys, because yesterday the RSI, and this is something that I pointed out in yesterday's video, the RSI was already at 70 points, and now we can see the relative strength index of the S&P 500 at 58 points, way healthier than yesterday. So let me zoom in here on the 4 hour, and guys, if tomorrow we happen to see another drop, another red day, and as I just said, depending on whatever Mr. Jerome Powell says tomorrow, or depending on whatever big tech reports today in terms of earnings, so I am going to be pretty much keeping a close watch on 43.60. I think that 43.60, if 4,400 happens to be broken to the downside once again, because keep in mind, guys, that the S&P 500 closed today's trading session at 44.01. So if that area of lower support happens to be broken once again tomorrow to the downside, then I am going to keep a close watch on 43.57. 43.57 is a previous area of resistance in which the bulls of the S&P failed back on July 21st. Sorry, they also failed on July 7th, also back on July 6th, and ultimately back on July 2nd. So we are talking about an important previous area of resistance that from a technical standpoint is supposed to act as an important area of support if visited anytime soon. And in terms of resistance, guys, I mean, we are pretty much talking about 44.22. That's it, the new all-time high in the S&P 500. So there's nothing to complain about the S&P 500, despite the fact that we saw a drop today of almost 0.50%. We are still on a clear uptrend and we are trading above the moving averages, guys. And by the way, guys, I didn't point this out. So take a look at the 50 SMA. The 50 SMA also coincides on the 4-hour with the area of support, of possible support that I just told you near 43.60. So that is going to be a very important spot in terms of support if visited in tomorrow's trading session, no doubt about it. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the Nasdaq 100, which was, I mean, other than the Russell 2000, this was the worst performing index out of the bunch and it needed a rest, guys. So the RSI of the Nasdaq 100 was at 71 points. This index was very overextended, and as of now we can see the RSI at 53 points, way healthier than yesterday. So take a look at the spot, guys, in which the bulls found support in today's trading session, guys. 14,800 points, which is an area that coincides with the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. The 50 SMA has been acting as a very important area of lower support for the bulls in the Nasdaq 100. And this area, guys, of lower support that coincides with the 50 SMA on the 4-hour is actually a former area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of the Nasdaq 100 already failed back on July 21st and also back on July 20th. So this was no coincidence. However, guys, the Nasdaq 100 saw a very nice recovery into the closing bell, just like the S&P 500, and this index closed at 14,956 points. So let me pull up once again the 4-hour. So in terms of support for tomorrow's trading session, the most important area is going to be 14,900 points. Keep in mind that 14,900 points is a previous area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of the Nasdaq 100 already failed on 1, 2, 3, and 4 occasions before. So in terms of support, that is going to be, no doubt about it, the most important area. And in terms of resistance, guys, I am going to be looking at 15,000 points. 15,000 points is a previous area of resistance in which the bulls of the Nasdaq 100 already failed on July 14th, and they also failed on July 13. So watch out for these two levels in tomorrow's trading session, and if the bulls happen to have a super green day, which is in the cards, guys, depending on what Google, Microsoft, and Apple reports, today, we could also see the bulls paying a visit to 15,142 points. No doubt about it, which is the new all-time high in the Nasdaq 100. From what I see it, guys, what I would like to see in the case of the Nasdaq 100, and I said this in yesterday's video, would be this index trading sideways without doing much, without going any higher or any lower for a few days. So that is going to let the RSI keep on chilling out, and that would be some sort of process of consolidation slightly above, let's say, 14,900 points, in which case the bulls of the Nasdaq 100 could be gathering momentum in order to take an all-time high at 15,142 points. And talking about what could potentially happen tomorrow, guys, we need to take a look at the earnings reports of big tech. So let's see what is going on in the case of Apple. And is Apple up after hours? Not much. So let me pull up here the live news tab, and let me see, did Apple report earnings? No, I don't see anything here yet. So it looks like Apple hasn't reported earnings yet, right? Nope, I don't see any information earnings related. So let's go ahead and take a look at Alphabet, Google. Did Google reported earnings? I think that Google should have reported earnings, I'm thinking. So let's see what is going on over here. So yeah, Google reported earnings and is up a lot after hours from, Google closed today's trading session, guys, to $2,638. And as of now, it is trading after hours at $2,752. So we can make the case that Google crushed on earnings. So let's go ahead and take a look over here. So they did EPS of $27.26 when a street consensus was $19.08. My goodness, what a beat. And in terms of revenue, they did $61 billion versus, where's revenue here? $56 billion. This was a beat all across the board. So this is a market mover, guys. Google crushed it, guys. No doubt about it. So we find Google as of now, after hours, almost 4%. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at Microsoft. So let's see if Google actually happens to pull off a green day tomorrow, guys, because I mean they really did very well in terms of earnings. And in the case of Microsoft, I mean it is pretty much Microsoft is it is pretty much flat as of now after hours. So let me pull up here the live news tab and what is going on in the case of Microsoft. So we don't have Microsoft return to, let me see. Okay, here it is. So EPS came in at $2.17 versus a street estimate of $1.92. So there was an acceptable beat on EPS, and revenue came in at $46.2 billion versus $44.3 billion. So they also beat on revenue as well. And let's see if Apple already reported earnings over here, guys. So let me see. And so far, both Microsoft and Google beat on earnings. And in the case of Apple, there you go, here we are. Okay, so EPS in the case of Apple came in at $1.30, beating the estimate of $1, and sales came in at $81.4 billion, beating the estimate of $72.9 billion. So big tech beat on earnings all across the board. And take a look at these guys. Apple is up a lot after hours. The stock of this company closed today's trading session at $146.77. And as of now, we find Apple at almost 150 bucks after hours. So this might be a sign that we should have a green day tomorrow, at least in the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500. And now let's go ahead and take a look at NIO, guys, which is going to be the first stock of this video. And you guys know that most of the Chinese stocks, I should say all of them, are getting absolutely crushed because of, you know, fears related to Chinese stocks, because of political tensions between the US and China, and possible regulations over tech companies in China. And you guys already know what is going on, obviously, right? I don't think that NIO is going to be affected by you know, any regulations in China, but I mean, it was a massive sell-off all across the board when it comes to Chinese stocks in today's trading session. So NIO went down today almost 9%, guys. Wow, I hadn't noticed this. So NIO went down 8.83%, and it closed today's trading session at $39.36. And guys, mind you, NIO closed today's trading session slightly above a critical area of lower support at $39. So $39 is a previous area of lower support that already acted as such for NIO back on December 11th, and it also did it back on December 2nd. And we are also talking about a former area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of NIO failed back on April 14th. So if tomorrow NIO is unable to hold this support at around $39, guys, be mindful of this. The next important area of lower support for NIO is going to be at around 35 bucks. $35 is a previous area of lower support that already acted as such for NIO on 1, 2, 3, and 4 occasions before. So that would be a huge gap down, guys, of almost $4. However, guys, on the flip side, if tomorrow NIO happens to start to consolidate slightly above $39, that would be a sign that the bulls of this Chinese stock are gathering momentum, are gathering strength in order to make a push higher and potentially pay a visit to the next important area of overhead resistance for NIO at around $42.70. $42.72 is a previous area of resistance in which the bulls of NIO already failed back on April 26th, and they also failed back on April 1st, but we are also talking about a previous area of support that already acted as such for NIO back on February 22nd, also back on December 29th, and also back on November 18th. So watch out for NIO tomorrow, guys. Either gathering strength slightly above $39 in order to make a push higher and pay a visit to $42.70 approximately, or maybe breaking the support of the $39 and paying a visit to $34.70, in which I am going to be very but very tempted to either sell puts of NIO or maybe buy call options. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the second stock of this video, Opendoor. And in the case of Open, guys, this is a stock that has gotten absolutely decimated lately. So Open went up today 0.92%. Well, so Open managed to pull off a green day in the middle of a red day all across the board. That's, I mean, did we have any news about Opendoor? No, we didn't have any announces. This was, no, a few days, 26, this was yesterday. Opendoor Technologies announces the results of the completed redemption of all outstanding warrants. I mean, maybe they released their warrants, and that might be the good news. I mean, other than that, I don't see anything over here. We have an unusual options activity. Let me see over here. So expiration, this is November. Let me see, 2021, strike price $10. This is bearish, right? Let me see, open interest, volume. Yeah, but so we had, yeah, sentiment bearish. So someone is loading up on Opendoor puts, guys. I don't know. I mean, how lower can Opendoor goes, guys? I mean, as of now, we find the stock of this company trading, I mean, 64% of its high. So who the heck is loading up on puts over here? My goodness. Okay, so what's my plan with Opendoor, guys? If tomorrow, let me zoom in here on the 4-hour, if the stock of this company tomorrow happens to pay a visit to $14, and if I notice that the stock of this company happens to find a good support over there, I am going to be very but very tempted in order to pick up probably 200 or 300 shares of Opendoor. So $14 is a previous area of lower support that already acted as such for the stock of this company in yesterday's trading session. It also did it back on July 19th, and it also did it back on May 13th. So I think that $14-ish is a very fair price in order to pick up some shares of Opendoor. If I happen to start a trade with the stock of this company, then my price target is going to be, this is going to be for the most part, guys, a swing trade. So my price target is going to be the next important area of overhead resistance for the bulls of Open at around $19. $19 is a previous area of resistance in which the bulls of this stock failed back on June 9th, and we are also talking about a previous area of lower support that already acted as such for Open back on April 12th. It also did it back on March 30th, and it also did it back on March 8th. If I were able, guys, to take this trade the way that I am describing it, I could be potentially locking in a profit of almost 26%. A very nice profit. And take a look, guys, at how this death cross that got formed back on July 14th ended up affecting Opendoor in a negative way, because since this death cross was formed, the stock of this company saw a pullback of almost 12%. So let's see. I think, guys, that if the bulls of Open can take on these moving averages, the 50 SMA and the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, momentum is going to kick in, and the bulls of Open are going to be able to fill the gap up to the $19. So $14, I think that that's a good price. And even, guys, if Open happens to break this lower support of 14 bucks, I am going to feel very comfortable holding shares in my portfolio of Open at 14 bucks. I really like that price. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the last stock of this video, Tesla. And I already told you guys in yesterday's video that Tesla absolutely killed on earnings, and regardless, we saw a red day today for this electric vehicle manufacturer. And mind you guys, we are at a very critical spot from a technical standpoint in the case of Tesla. So we are between a critical area of lower support at 622 bucks. 622 bucks is a previous area of lower support that already acted as such for Tesla back on July 20th. It also did it back on July 7th. And we are also talking about a previous area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of Tesla already failed back on June 14th. And they also failed back on June 8th. And on top of that, let me see over here. Yeah. This area also acted as a lower support for Tesla back on February 23rd. It also did it back on December 23rd, also back on December 16th, and that's it. So this is a very important previous area of support and resistance in the case of Tesla. And the other important area, the other very important spot for Tesla is at around $660, guys. $660 is a previous area of lower support in which the bulls of Tesla found support back on April 29th. It also did it back on March 16th, also back on February 26th, and lastly back on December 29th. So Tesla is between two very important spots. So what could potentially happen, guys, if Tesla breaks the lower support of $620? And mind you guys, Tesla closed today's trading session. I didn't say this, my bad. Tesla closed today's trading session at $644.78, and it went down 1.95%. So if Tesla breaks this lower support at $620, I think that the gap down to 570 bucks could be filled, guys. 670 bucks is a previous area of lower support that already acted as such for Tesla on 1 and 2 occasions before. That would be, guys, if we happen to see this drop, that could be a drop of almost 9%. Or on the flip side, if Tesla happens to take on the area of overhead resistance at around $660, then momentum could kick in and we could see a push higher to the next important area of overhead resistance for Tesla at around $718. $718 is a previous area of resistance in which the bulls of Tesla already failed back on May 3rd. They also failed back on April 5th, also back on March 18th, and lastly back on March 10th. So watch out for Tesla, guys. In my case, I think that more downside is coming, and you guys know that I am not a Tesla burr. I am actually a long-term investor. But Tesla really killed on earnings yesterday, guys, and definitely Wall Street is still lost inside the Tesla labyrinth. So definitely Wall Street cannot understand what Tesla is about, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla happens the lower support of 620 bucks and pays a visit to 570 bucks. I definitely believe that this is in the cards, and if we happen to see 570 bucks, I will probably be picking up a call option in the money of Tesla that would have an expiration date in February or March of next year. And with Tesla, I am going to wrap up the video. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for hanging out with me once again. Remember and keep in mind, guys, that here on the Bilingual Stock Market channel, we are posting stock market update videos Mondays through Thursdays 3 or 4 hours after the market closes. So if you want to get the notifications of all of our videos in a timely manner, you have to be subscribed to the channel, but you also need to activate the notification bell right up there. Follow us on Instagram as well, guys, at Bilingual Stock Market. On our Instagram account, we are posting news and information on a daily basis, and here and there, when the volatility of the market lets me do it, I am making call outs about the stock that I am about to purchase throughout the trading session. So if you also want to have access to that information, go ahead and follow us on Instagram as well at Bilingual Stock Market. And remember that this is the Bilingual Stock Market channel, the YouTube channel in which we talk about the markets, but we do it in English and Spanish as well, so you can pick your preferred language. But most importantly, this is the YouTube channel in which we know that the wonderful world of Wall Street is not for geniuses, it is for entrepreneurs just like you guys and myself. My name is Alvaro, and I will see you guys tomorrow once again, 3 or 4 hours after the market closes. Peace out. Keep on crushing the markets, guys. See ya.